This one to you, Father Maudsley. What do you think would be the best way to help a priest who does not yet understand the Latin Mass to fall in love with it and offer it to all who long for it?
Have dinner with him and a conversation, and you yourself need to fall in love with the traditional Mass and make sure you're there every Sunday or every day, and that will, if anything, come through and convince him. Otherwise it's hard, and poking him, badgering him is not going to help a great deal. Was that the question?
Yeah, I think something that's also helpful is if you get like good literature. I mean, if you find, I'm trying to think right off the top of my head what could some of that good literature be, but it's something that helped me. I mean, I think if you can get the priest to, like, let's say, just read a bit more on, let's say, the differences between, let's say, the new Mass or the traditional Latin Mass, or some of the problems with the origin of the new Mass, I think that can also be a big help. It's not easy, though. I mean, I think it's a good question. I think it's an important question because obviously it's, I think, an area where it's very important to try to like make inroads. How do we get more priests to begin to appreciate the traditional Latin Mass and then offer it? But you've got to look for ways to try to get the material in their hands so that, you know, like their eyes will also be opened. Obviously, without question, pray for them. Pray that the Holy Ghost and that our Blessed Mother will open their minds and open their hearts to that. Thank you, David. David just gave me a couple of books in terms of, let's say, maybe good reading material, what you could possibly give to the priest, and that's the Michael Davies trilogy. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but that's very good. It's a trilogy. I think the first volume deals specifically with the Second Vatican Council. The second volume specifically, I think, with the Mass. I don't know correctly.
The second one is Pope John's Council. The third one is Paul VI's New Mass, and the first one is Cranmer's God.
Oh, that's right, Cranmer's God. Thank you, Father Maudsley. Yeah,
the English.
Yeah, okay. So the particular one, maybe most relevant in terms of the question, would be Volume 3, because that's Pope Paul VI's New Mass. Yeah. So Volume 3 in particular of Michael Davies' trilogy. There's also a real good book that was off my radar. Thank you, David. There's a book that was put out some years back by the SSPX where they interviewed about 15 or 16 priests that actually had made the transition from the new Mass to the traditional Latin Mass. And they basically just interview them, and those priests kind of give a witness of basically a story of their conversion. So I definitely would say I think that could be a very good one, because if you give the priest that book, they can actually read the testimonies, kind of like the experiences of like a fellow priest. And that book is called Priest, Where Is Your Mass? That's put out, I imagine, still by Angelus Press. So those are a few examples.